Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies, and I'm here today to do the flip through for my last retro sewing journal. And it's this one. I think this is the largest one. Let me go ahead and measure it. It is 7 inches by 10, so 7 by 10, and the spine is 3 inches. The cover, okay, let me go ahead and do this first actually. There are 4 signatures in here, and there's a flat fabric dangle here. Instead of putting charms, I stamped things that could be charms, and I put them on fabric and hung them on here. These 2 pieces right here are from Mixed Media, Minnesota. It's their sewing pattern digital, and it also covers the spine. I thought that looked cool, like just kind of patched on there. So there's that. The closure is it's kind of like a slippery fabric. I love these types of fabrics for closures. I don't know why. I think because they just kind of billow out like this, and I just love the feel of it and the look of it. So it just ties like that. You open it up. The cover is an image from, it says Homemaker's Guide. It's one of those pamphlets. This was sent to me by Mary. Thank you so much, Mary. I love the image, and I just kind of wanted to experiment with all of these colors, and I think it turned out great. Very vintagey, but still feminine. This is a vintage sheet ruffle right here. I put lots of trims and lace and things like that. And the back is just plain. All right, let's go ahead and go inside because this might take a long time. All right, so we open it up. I left this plain. I wanted it to just feel like a regular old book, kind of, I guess. I left many of the inside covers plain on these journals. This right here for the first signature is a mini lap book, and it's attached to this book. If you would like to see the full flip through for this, it's in a separate video, and I will link it down below, and I'll try to remember to link it in a card up above as well. This book, as you can kind of see, I guess you can see the back better. This light green book was a sewing book, and it was a book from the 40s. So the cover was really plain. Let me make sure I'm in frame here. The cover was really plain, but the pages inside were beautiful. This book is from the 1940s, and it's very yellowed, but the pages are pretty thick, and the illustrations are absolutely adorable. So there we have that. Book pages. This is a vintage map book page. This is from Tailor Made Journals. Her grungy wallpaper. I love it. I think it went great with this theme. This is from a book called The Deltagram. Here's a piece of coffee dyed paper for journaling that I turned into a tag. And here is another card for journaling. I collaged onto book page some more of Tailor Made Journals pages from her digital. Coffee dyed paper. This is from a Popular Mechanics book. This paper is from a home improvement book from the 70s. So lots of home improvement books in here, which I love. This is from a 70s magazine, and I tucked a recipe card and some vintage fabric sewn onto coffee dyed paper for journaling. Coffee dyed paper. This is old like columned paper, not exactly ledger paper. This is from a vintage Kodak pamphlet. Some ledger paper. Here are some retro slide mounts. I did a video on this. It was so much fun to make, and I love that you can see through because the image is kind of floating in the middle there. This is some collaged, is a collaged pocket, some engineering paper. It actually has a date on here from 1975. A cookbook from the 50s. I think it was one of those textbook type books, but it was Betty Crocker. This is from a knitting magazine from the 70s. National Geographic magazine from the 50s. How many of us are relaxed like this after work or something? Still all dressed up. This is a large journaling card right here. This is the cover of that knitting book from the 70s. And I've used up a lot of these pages in these journals. I love this page. I don't know how they photographed desserts so like beautifully back then, but it just looks so pretty. Even though it doesn't look super professional, it just has that glamorous handmade feel. This here is from a 50s knitting book. Kodak pamphlet right there. Some cards in here for journaling. This is an acetate window envelope held on here with a altered paper clip, and it just opens up like this. I love the image on this. This is from a 1950s National Geographic magazine, and there are windows in the front and the back, and it's just a really cool image. And when I make ephemera from especially magazines, I like to kind of leave little bits of that time period on there so you can read about it too. There's just something about the past that is so magical. This is a journaling card. Goes into this pocket right here. Some cards in here for journaling. I will link all of the kits that I used. These two are from KB and Friends. Here's another acetate window envelope. She's on there looking super glamorous. A pocket, an acetate window pocket right there, as well as on the back. And again, this one is also held with an altered paper clip. This is the third signature, and this is in a weird spot. Okay, so this little blurb right here about the 1958 Frigidaire dishwasher, which I don't know if you can see the pink in there, but it just looks so pretty to me. The picture that corresponds with this is on this side, and this is one of my favorite pictures from this National Geographic magazine. The pink right there. It was really hard for me to let go of this. But I didn't want to cover her up, so I clipped this on the opposite side. And this also is clipped on, and it's just a big journaling card. Sewing tissue right here. This is from a kid's Betty Crocker book. So there are many, it's a huge variety of vintage book pages in these journals. And again, I wanted to leave the information intact. So this is a recipe for applesauce, and all the instructions and ingredients are still here in case someone wanted to make it. It flips up, and here is another journaling card. And again, these recipes are fully intact if anyone wants to try to make these. This is from that 50s knitting magazine. Super glamorous. I love this image. Her hair is just so perfect. My favorite colors on ledger paper right there. Another favorite right there. Coffee dyed paper, bunk bed pockets here because there's one on the top and one on the bottom with a couple of journaling cards. I love this image right here. KB and Friends. So this right here is a magazine from the 70s, the knitting magazine, and it came, like a bunch of them came in this little binder right here. If you've seen the haul where I got these, you would have seen me show that binder. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's this tucked behind these two retro slide mounts. And this talks about this car. Some deli paper right here. Vintage ads right here. And this journal is pretty similar to the other vintage retro sewing journals. And so that's why I'm not talking too much. I love this picture right here. This blurb is about the Chrysler right here. And I love this ad. This is from the original book itself. Oh, see, I put 2 stars here, and there should be 2 stars here, but I think I probably erased it because I had such a hard time keeping these counterparts together. I'll try to remember to erase that. Here's a loaded pocket right here. This makes a pocket. There's a big pocket in the back with a blue doily and some, what do you call it? Embossed paper. This opens up. This is a top tuck, and it holds this in here. This is from a 1950s National Geographic magazine. This is from the book itself. And look at these illustrations down here. So pretty. This is a tip-in, and there are 2 cards tucked up top here. And a card in here. I loved making these. And 2 cards on these sides right here. But yeah, I loved making these. I should make more of them. This is from a cookbook. I loved making these pockets too. They came really easily. I used tailor-made journals, her grungy wallpaper. I think that's what made it easy, because these are so pretty to work with. Journaling card right there. Love this cake. It's just so over the top and so pink, and I love it. Some bunk bed pockets right here with a couple of journaling cards inside. This is from a high-end department store. It's not a catalog, but it's more like a pamphlet, and that looks really cool. What is this? A jewelry case. That's so cool. This is a big pocket right here. These tags here, I used Mixed Media Minnesota's, I think it's Spring Awakening kit, and I printed onto fabric, and I just love how it's so random like that. And I love how these colors go together. A couple of journaling cards in here, and I love these images. So pretty. This is sewing tissue paper and a loaded pocket in the back with lots of little goodies that you could journal on. But that's the end of this journal. I hope you enjoyed seeing the flip through for this. If you did, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. I will have a no talking flip through for most, if not all, of my journals. So I guess I should have mentioned that in the beginning. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.